I'm pretty sure most of the people, a lot of the people that's watching this video here drives, right? Or at least knows how to drive, or at least I'm sure you've been in a car, even if you haven't drove, right? So certainly, we have America versus Australia driving. That's what we're going to be checking out, right? The differences between driving in Australia compared to America. The original channel is kinda Australian. That's the name of the channel. Legit. So links down below for that, so you can go over there and hit the like button. Do all that super fun, awesome stuff. We're going to be checking out the differences between driving. I don't know much about the differences between driving. I only found out recently that I think Australians drive on the left side of the road. I think kind of like the people do in England. Actually, maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of a different country. I don't know. We're gonna learn today. That's what we're gonna do. Hit like and subscribe, please. Thank you very much. Let's proceed.
G'day guys, welcome back
Good
to the
day.
channel. My name's Caitlin and I'm an American living in beautiful Sydney, Australia. I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video because I am probably not the best person to make this video. The funny thing is I married an Aussie truckie and I am an American who has a paralyzing fear of driving. Yeah, that's right, I'm
Uh-oh.
absolutely terrified to drive. Doesn't matter where you put me behind the wheel of a car and I get scared.
I've seen people like that. My mom's kind of like that on the highway, at like big highway, multiple lanes. She doesn't like it. She'll take the back roads if she can.
But there are so many differences to driving over in the States compared to here in Australia. And since I've lived here for over 2 years, even though I'm not a driver myself, I do think I'm pretty qualified to talk about some of these differences. So grab a big
Learning from observation, she is. I don't know why I said that in Yoda speak, Yoda talk, whatever, but I did randomly.
grab a cuppa and let's get right into this video.
Grab a cup. I already got mine's empty. Talking about coffee, right? I think.
Number one, let's get
Should've
the
made
most
more.
obvious one out of the way. Here in Australia, people drive on the opposite side of the road.
Compared to who, right? But of course, she's saying American. She's from America, so yeah. If you're British, you're driving on the same side of the road, though, right?
In the States, we drive on the right-hand side.
Yep.
Here in Australia, we drive on the left-hand side, like most other Commonwealth countries.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting to see a map of this. I didn't know. Okay, this is nice. Okay, so you got the UK and Ireland, and then India, Australia, all the Southeast Asian island kind of things down there, South Africa, a lot of those countries, and then something over there in some random ass country in South America drives on the other side of the road. That's weird.
So naturally, as part of this, the steering wheel is on the other side of the car. And if you're an American who's moved over here, let me know in the comments down below, how many times did you end up accidentally getting into the driver's seat instead of the passenger seat because
Oh,
you
I
were not
bet.
used to the steering wheel being on the other side of the car? Number three are L plates and P plates here, and there is nothing like this over in the States, and I wish there was. Most places in the States you get your learner's permit and then you go on to a Cinderella license and then you get a full license.
A Cinderella license? Okay, a junior's license.
And a Cinderella license isn't in every state, and it typically means that you can only have so many people traveling in a car with you. You can only be driving up to a certain point during the day. Whereas here in
Okay.
Australia, you have L plates and then 2 stages of P plates before you get a full unrestricted driver's license. And on top of that, these are
Interesting.
plates that are actually required to be put on the outside of your car.
You know, it's probably something that, she said that she wishes that, they had here in the United States. Well, it is something we need because there's so many idiots out on the road that don't know how to drive. Because it's like, okay, so you go get your permit, right? And then you hold your permit for like 6 weeks. And then as long as you can pass the driving test, which is just up to just a single person instructor driving, that's sitting in the passenger seat with you, right, while you do the thing. If they pass you, then boom, you're full on. You got your full on license. You can drive unrestricted wherever you want to go. Maybe Australia's doing it a little bit better over here with these number plate things or whatever, with the L and whatever this is.
So everybody around you knows that if you're a learner, they need to give you a little bit more space. You are legally required to go slower than other people. If you have a red P plate, you are, again, legally required to only go a certain speed. You
Really?
can't always go with the speed of traffic.
Wow, that's
And
okay.
people understand that around here. A lot of them have had to go through that same system themselves. Some people are sympathetic, others do get really annoyed, but I do wish we had a system like this over in the States because
I don't like that though, where you might get stuck driving behind somebody slow. I don't like that. I get it though, I guess, but I don't know.
it is so smart. Because in the States, you have no idea who's a learner and who's an experienced driver
Oh
who's been
yeah,
driving for 50 years.
yeah. No, that part's great. I just don't like the whole like there might be somebody that's forced legally to drive super slow, and I might be the one stuck behind him when I'm in a hurry. Multiple Rego slips varies between states and territories. Okay, so what's a Rego slip?
Number 4 are different rego slips that are required.
Rego.
There's a pink slip, there's a green slip, there's a blue slip. Each of them have a different meaning to it, whereas over in the States, we don't have this. We have a once-a-year inspection that we have to pass. And I don't know if they still do this.
This is only state dependent. The state of Indiana, where I live, you do not have to have your car inspected at all. Pennsylvania now puts stickers on the windshield. Is she just gonna abbreviate stickers? Really? Put sticks on the windshield, not the license plate. These laws vary from state to state in the U.S. Okay, so she can't spell very good. Windshield spelled wrong. From is spelled wrong. Not the point of the video though. So, yeah, are these inspection plates or just the license plate? Because we do have license plates. We have to renew them.
In the States, but the one point in time where I did have a car, they used to actually put stickers on the back of your license plate with the month and year of your inspection.
Okay, inspection. Yeah. I'm unfamiliar. The state of Indiana does not require it. So,
And if you didn't have the most recent sticker for that year, guess what? You were getting pulled over and getting a ticket.
probably.
Here, all of that is electronically tied together, and you need different rego slips. It's not like every single car needs a green slip, every single car needs a pink slip. It's not like it's one color rego slip that covers everything. There's different ones. Number 5 are electronic driver's licenses. And again, I think this is something that is absolutely genius that Australia does, because it is so convenient to have your driver's license tied to an app on your phone instead of constantly having to have your physical license on you.
Nice. Nice. Because, yeah, if you hear, people don't always, but you're supposed to carry your physical license with you. Okay. Whether you're a licensed driver or not. Yeah, sure, they can look it up in the system, but they can give you a ticket for not having it with you. So that's nice. That's nice because you're always going to have your phone most of the time. So that's convenient.
Because if you're one of those people who routinely forgets your wallet but always remembers to bring your cell phone because you're so used to tap and pay, you have your license on your phone. You don't have to worry about making sure you have your physical license on you in case something happens and you get pulled over.
Nice.
Most places in the States, electronic licenses aren't a thing.
Nope.
And I'm saying most places just to give a little bit of grace. I've never heard of electronic licenses being a thing over in the States, but it's monitored by state, so there are 50 of them. There might be some place where there's an electronic license. In Pennsylvania, there absolutely was not, but it is genius that Australia does this. Number 6 are these small utes. There is nothing like this over in the States. Over in the States, we're used to...
You know, I vaguely remember hearing something about these utes on some car channel videos that I've watched. A lot of people like to take the utes and then they'll take like Predator engines or like small electric motors and put in them and do some really cool, fun stuff with them.
Pickup trucks. Big, massive, giant pickup trucks. And I swear the further south you go, the bigger the pickup trucks get. Whereas here in Australia, yeah, we're getting slightly bigger utes going on, but there are also these smaller utes, like little Holden utes. And utes with trays on them instead of having like a full blown...
No, I'm talking like the small, like the ones from like the 70s, I think they are.
Ute with like 5 seats. They're just different sized utes over here. Whereas over in the States, you have big, bigger, and massive. Number 7 is that there are a lot more motorbikes on the road over here in Australia than you'll typically see over in the States.
Okay.
And while you might see a lot of motorcycles over in the States when summer comes and people pull them out and start riding around a lot.
Yeah, and more out like west, like drier areas, Arizona, stuff that doesn't snow a lot. Tons of motorcycles I hear and I see from videos and stuff. I've never been out there, but just hearsay.
More often. Here in Australia, it's actually quite common for people to use motorbikes as a means of transportation or a means of commuting back and forth to work. posties here on motorbikes. You will see posties on motorbikes everywhere around Australia.
I wonder how long she's been in Australia, because she's saying motorbike and stuff like that. Like that's an Australian term, because here we call them a motorcycle. You know what I mean? The first time I ever heard anything called a motorbike was probably on Peppa Pig or something, which isn't Australian, it's British, but you get the idea. It's close enough.
They're economical. Filtering is legal here.
Not close enough. But you know what I'm saying? Language wise, the way you guys speak.
Helmets are a requirement here if you want to ride a motorbike. Well, obviously, you still have all the typical dangers that come with riding a motorbike or a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You're a little bit more prepared and a little bit more safe here in Australia compared to the States, which is
Unless a drop bear gets you, or a swooping magpie, right, guys? Filtering and stopped traffic is legal for fully licensed riders. I don't know what that means. We're going to find out.
something that scared the hell out of me the first time Mark did it. I almost had a heart attack. I'd never been on a motorbike before, and he was filtering at stop signs. I had no idea that that was a thing, because in the States, that is illegal.
What?
Here, it's not only legal, but between bike riders at least, it's encouraged because it is a safety thing. If you're in a car and you get rear-ended, yeah, you might suffer some damage, but if you're on a motorbike and you get rear-ended, there's a good chance that you're not walking away from that accident. So it's very common for people who have a full motorbike license here to filter. And if you're not expecting it and you didn't know that was a thing, it can scare the hell out of you. Next are
I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Hold on. Lane filtering, also known as lane splitting, is a motorcycle maneuver where a rider moves between two lanes of traffic following in the same direction at a low speed. What? A rider moves between two lanes of traffic. What does that mean? So they're just going back and forth? Okay, so when they're going slow, let me try to understand. So when they're going slow, they zigzag. Is that correct? Is that easier to control the motorbike? You're going to definitely have to let me know on this one, guys, because I am lost, even with the explanation on Google. Yeah, mandatory helmets. That's another thing. That's probably a good thing, though.
mandatory motorbike helmets. Also mandatory bike helmets if you're just riding a regular bike or a push bike. Those are required by law here. Every state and territory requires you to wear a helmet. Over in the States, that's not really a thing if you're riding a motorcycle, that a helmet is a legal requirement.
Right.
In fact, I remember we rented a road bike in Hawaii, and the guy gave us a weird look when Mark asked for helmets for us to rent. They had some, and let me tell you, they were probably the crappiest helmets I've ever seen. But technically they were helmets. Whereas here in Australia, helmets for a motorbike are a legal requirement. Not just for riders, but for passengers as well. So if you're riding as a pillion on a motorbike, you are also required to have a helmet. Number 10 is speed limits that are painted on the motorways.
Oh, cool.
It's something so small, but let me tell you, it is genius, because I've never ridden on a motorway in the States that had the speed limit painted on.
No,
it
never
is something
seen it.
so small, but so smart, and I wish they had that over in the States.
Makes sense.
Next are different car brands. There are car brands in the States that you don't see here, and vice versa.
Like
I've
what?
never seen a Holden over in the States, but at the same token, I've never seen a Chevy here in Australia. So coming over here, there were a few new types of cars that I just had to get used to seeing. Holdens are probably one of the most popular ones that I can.
Holden, huh? And Chevy. You guys don't have Chevy there? That's kind of crazy to me. Wow, you missed out on the Camaro, huh?
Can think of
The
that you
Corvette?
don't see over in the States. But yeah, expect to see some new car brands when you are out and about in Australia. Next up, we're seeing roundabouts, even in big parts of the cities here. Where I grew up in the States, roundabouts were not a thing, and they do tend to be a thing more in like the rural areas of the States, or in the more rural states.
They have
I was
a few
born and raised
here
in a
and
big
there.
city over in the States, and I had never seen a roundabout before I moved to Australia. It just weren't a thing. Over in the States, it is like a four-way stop sign. That is the norm.
I like them.
Whereas here, roundabouts are a lot more common. And statistically, roundabouts are also a lot safer.
Yeah,
And last but not least, one thing that
and traffic flows a lot nicer with roundabouts. It really does.
trips me up time and time again is calling it petrol instead of gas,
Oh
which is
yeah,
short for
like the
gasoline. I
British.
know a lot of Aussies love to say, no, it's not gas, it's petrol. Gas is a gas. Gas isn't a liquid. Obviously, it is short for gasoline, but here in Australia, they call it petrol. We call it petrol. I sometimes call it petrol. But that's it for this video, you guys. Let me know if there's anything down below that you think I
Very
missed.
cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to her channel. She's probably got a bunch more good videos, I would assume. So yeah, very cool, guys. Can you let me know, please, about the lane filtering situation? Like, what exactly is that? I don't know. I'm sincerely lost. You guys have a super fun, awesome day. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.